Hey Omies, I'm Ewashkiw from Adventure Yoga. Thanks for joining me today. This is about a 35-minute level 1 plus Vinyasa practice. Level 1 plus, I know that's not very specific. It's probably intermediate advanced Vinyasa practice. So if you're brand new to yoga, if you're a beginner student, this will probably be a little too fast-paced and complicated in some parts. But if you're up for the challenge, awesome. I would like you to have a yoga block for practice today. If you don't have one, you can use a thick book. It's something to stand on. Also, you don't need it. It's optional. So if you don't have one, you can still do this class. Don't worry about it. You'll do just fine. We're going to work to hold ourselves up today, to stand up for something. If that sounds like something you want to do today, unroll your mat and stand up. Not too surprising, and I'll meet you there in just a few seconds. As I mentioned in the intro, but just in case you skipped the intro, you're going to want a yoga block for class today if you've got a yoga block around the house. If you don't have a yoga block, you can use a hardcover book or something like that. We're going to use it to stand on. That's it. So if you have one, grab it. If you don't, you can just stand on the ground. It'll be a little bit easier. All right, so to start, please stand at the top of your mat in Tadasana. Straighten your arms, straighten your legs, stretch your spine straight. Breathe through your nose. Welcome. Stretch your arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands shoulder distance apart, push down through your feet and stretch up. Stand up tall, and then fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Touch the ground, so bend your knees if you need to. It's probably a good idea, your first Uttanasana, to bend your knees and touch the ground, but depends on your flexibility. It's a good idea for me. Come up onto your fingertips, straighten your arms and lift your chest. Ardha Uttanasana. And then we're going to go to a lunge. So step your right foot back, touch the ground, find the lunge shape in your legs, and then lift your torso, bring your hands onto your hips. Stretch your arms up. So this is a warrior one variation, sometimes called crescent lunge. Push through your right toes, stretch forward through your left knee, stretch up through your fingers, and then bring your hands down to the ground. Step your right foot forward. Step your left foot back. Bring your hands onto your hips, lift your torso, and stretch your arms up. Warrior one variation. So the fun part about that is I allowed you to touch the ground and step your foot back to come into this shape. Well, on the next round, we're going to see what we can do if we can do it hands free. I'm just trying to find my balance while we talk. All right, bring your hands down to the ground, step forward. Uttanasana. Come up on your fingertips, lift your chest. Ardha Uttanasana. And fold forward. Uttanasana. Stand up and reach up. Urdhva Hastasana. And bring your arms to your sides. Tadasana. Step your feet together for this second round, because we're going to add Utkatasana, and we're going to add hands free, stepping back into hands on hips lunge. Ready for that? All right. Stretch your arms up overhead. Urdhva Namaskarasana this time. Bring your hands together in prayer. Squeeze the back of your head, stretch up. Bend your knees, sit deeply, Utkatasana. Steady your breath. Sit a little bit more deeply. Feel a little wobble in your legs. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Touch the ground. Lift your chest, Ardha Uttanasana. Bring your hands onto your hips. Dream big and step your right foot back, bend into your left knee, and lift your torso. High lunge, stretch your arms up. Warrior one variation. How'd that go? Great? Good? Good enough? It's good enough. Now, we're going to change sides, and we're going to do it hands free. So we're going to go into that half forward fold, hands to hips. So step forward, hands to your hips, fold forward. Step your left leg back, lift your torso, stretch your arms up. Not so bad, is it? These one-legged things, they really help us find the ability to be a little more stable, which is why I'm feeling quite unstable as we do them already. Bring your hands down to the ground this time, step forward, bring your feet together just so you can get the setup for Utkatasana. Bend your knees, stretch your arms up. Utkatasana and Tadasana. Stretch your arms up. Inhale. Bring your hands together and bend your knees. Utkatasana. Bring your hands to your hips. Oh wait, that's not it. Fold forward, touch the ground. Uttanasana, that's it. Ardha Uttanasana, lift your chest. I'm just human. Bring your hands under your hips. That's how we do it. Step your right leg back, lift your torso, hands-free lunge. Stretch your arms up. Warrior One variation. Bring your hands onto your waist. Dream big and step forward. Come into that half forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana. Bend your knees, step your left leg back, lift your torso. Stretch your arms up. Warrior One variation. This time, hands to hips again. Step your left leg forward, come into the half forward fold, feet together, and then fold forward, Uttanasana. Touch the ground, bend your knees. Utkatasana. Lift your arms, lift your chest, and stand up. Tadasana. Cool. That's it. Bring your feet together, stretch your arms down at your sides. Tadasana. I'm just going to turn and face you, but you can stay where you are. Feet together, stretch your arms up overhead. Urdhva Namaste, bring your hands into prayer, squeeze the back of your head and stretch up, stand up tall. Remember, we're working with this idea today that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, which is a great motto, but also it's really, really true in yoga. If you're not standing up in the pose, well, you might just be falling over in the pose. Side bend to the left. Indudalasana. Standing side bend. Shorten your left side. Stretch through your right side. Come up to center. Side bend to the right. Shorten your right side. Stretch through your left side. Squeeze your legs in. Push your feet down. And come up to center. Go to the left again. Indudalasana. Come up to center. And once more to the right. Indudalasana. And come up to center. Bring your arms down to your sides. Tadasana. Bend your knees. Lift your left knee up. Wrap your left leg over your right. Wrap your left arm under your right. Garudasana. Eagle pose. So yeah, we're going to do some one-legged standing poses today. We're not going to do all of them because it's not that long a class. Squeeze your legs together. These one-legged standing poses, though, they're very, very, very good at targeting our outer hips. So like our glute medius, glute maximus, which are going to help stabilize our hips, but also the muscles below our knee. So like our lower shin. Tadasana? Sure, Tadasana. Unwrap your arms, unwrap your legs. So our shin and our ankle muscles are really important for these one-legged standing poses for helping us just find balance in life, be able to stand up for something. Lift your right knee, bend your left knee, wrap your right leg over your left, wrap your right arm under your left, Garudasana. So all the wobbling that I feel here, that you probably feel here, that's all actually helping to target these muscles. Your hips, glute medius, glute minimus, particularly, and your shin and your ankle muscles on your left leg here. Feel them wobbling. All that wobbling is causing some action, some engagement, and it's going to help us build strength. Tadasana. Whew, yeah. One-legged standing poses are not something I practice maybe as much as I should because they're challenging. But the way we get through it is we practice it, we get stronger, we are able to hold ourselves up better, and then we feel better. Lift your left leg up. Turn your left leg out. Vrikshasana, tree pose. Place your left foot on the inside of your right leg, above or below your right knee. Bring your hands in front of your heart for tree pose. So hands into prayer. Push down through your right foot. Hug your outer right hip in. It's going to help stabilize your hip. And as you feel your right foot wobble, work to keep it grounding. That's going to help build strength in your ankle and your shin. Steady your breath. Tadasana. Lower your left leg, release your arms. Turn your right leg out, lift your right leg up, Vrikshasana, tree pose, other side. Bring your right foot on the inside of your left leg. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Hug your left hip in. So engage your outer left hip, so engage your butt, hug it in. And push down through your left foot, stretch up through your spine. Stand up. Stand up tall for you. Tadasana. After Indulasana, after that little warm up, after Garudasana, tree pose just feels quite grounding for me. Hope you got a little bit of that. Stand at the top of your mat. Tadasana. We're going to use this hands-free lunge entry again. It's going to be a little different because we're not going to use the forward fold. Tadasana. Trust me. Bring your hands onto your waist. Step your right leg back for lunge, hands on your hip. So bend in your left knee, step your right leg back, lunge. Been here before. Stretch your arms up. Warrior One variation. Squeeze your outer hips in, so draw in with your outer hips. Stretch your left knee forward, push down through your right toes. All of that is going to work these muscles that we're targeting, help you build a little more strength, build a little more stability in your standing poses, just in your life. Lean forward, reach forward. With your right toes, push yourself forward, come right up onto your tiptoes. Virabhadrasana 3, lift your right leg off the ground. Uh-oh, I'm gonna go through the window if I'm not careful. Stretch your fingertips forward, lift through your right heel and stretch back through your right leg. And all of the movements in your left foot here, it's awesome. It's just helping us find our stability, find our strength. Back to the Warrior One variation. Bend into your left knee. Right foot down, arms up. Warrior One variation. All right, this time you get to bring your hands down to the ground. Bring your hands down to the ground. So we're going to do something different. Pull your right knee forward, hug it up in next to your left knee. Keep your right foot off the ground as much as you can, and then pull your right foot forward and stretch your right leg out in front of you. This is called shoot the duck. You can hold your right foot with your left hand, or you can see about holding your right foot with your right hand and your left hand. This is a great one-legged standing pose. If your butt's on the ground, that's okay. But if you can get it off the ground, see if you can, and do what you can do. All right, before we lose it, we're going to standing splits. Really? Yeah, bring your hands down to the ground. Pull your right leg back and lift your butt up, and lift your right leg up. Walk your hands out in front of you, and fold forward. Standing splits. We got one more little pose, but after this, to wrap up this side of the sequence, and it's right leg out in front of you, aka extended one leg pose. So as you stand up, pull your right knee in, bend into both knees, pull your right knee forward, lift your torso, lift your right knee. You can do hands to your hips, or hands to your heart, and you can straighten your right leg if you would like. Tadasana. Lower your right leg, lower your arms. Who came up with this sequence? Oh wait, that was me. I really enjoy this kind of work. It challenges me and it's fun. I like that challenge. It's quite playful and I hope that you're feeling a bit of that. Like just play with it and have fun. Second side. Tadasana. Bring your hands to your hips. This time, bend both knees, step your left leg back for lunge, hands to your hips. Stretch your arms up overhead, Virabhadrasana 1 variation, Warrior One variation. Squeeze your outer hips in, stretch your right knee forward. Then lean forward, like at about a 45-degree angle with your torso. Stretch forward through your fingers and then use your left toes to push your body forward. Roll up onto your left big toe even, and then lift your left leg. Shift your chest forward a little more. Virabhadrasana 3. Oh, I just am embracing the wobbling in my right foot. Just moving around. Enjoy it, stretch out. And then back to warrior one variation. Bend into your right knee, lift your torso, stretch your arms up. Well done. Bring your hands down to the ground. Cool. We're gonna shoot the duck again. So to do that, pull your left knee forward, pull it up next to your right knee. If you can keep your left foot off the ground, do. And then lift your hips a little higher, pull your left foot through, lower your hips, and maybe catch your left foot with your right hand. That'll help you squeeze your left leg into your right. Maybe also hold it with both hands. And then standing splits. Hands down, lift your hips, pull your left knee in, pull it back, lift your left leg up, and fold deeply. Urdhva Prasarita Ekapadasana is this pose, standing splits. Now we're gonna do stretched out leg or extended one leg pose. Lift your torso, bend into your right knee, pull your left knee forward, bend into it, lift your left knee, bring your hands to your hips, and straighten your left leg if you want. You can also bring your hands to your hips, or to your heart, if you want. Utthita Ekapadasana, extended one leg pose, and Tadasana. Stretch your arms down at your sides. I'm quite happy to be here. I hope you are. Tadasana. Stretch your arms up overhead. Utkatasana. Bend your knees, sit deeply. Bend your knees, sit more deeply. Bring your hands down to the ground, just for your fingertips. Bend your knees more. And then sit down. Sit down. And lie down on your back. Bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. We're setting up for bridge pose, but guess what? We're gonna do one-legged bridge pose work. Bend your elbows, point your fingers up to the ceiling, push down through your shoulders and expand through your chest. Push through your feet, lift your butt. Satyabandha Sarvangasana. Turn your hands down to the ground, so place your palms flat on the ground. Push through your shoulders and lift your chest a little more so you can draw your shoulders in a little more and just have a nice base for your shoulders on the ground here. Pull your right knee in towards your face so your right foot comes off the ground and then straighten your right leg. It doesn't have to be straight up towards the ceiling. Do your best to straighten it. And then think about where your hips are in space here. Work to keep them at that same height when you come back up. Come back up from where? From here. Lower your butt till it hovers off the ground. Then lift it back up to where it just was. Lower. Lift. Keep doing these. One-legged bridge lifts. These are really good for your knee stability, knee mobility. They're really good for hip strength and ankle and shin strength. So guess why we're doing them today? Oh, so good for you. And this is a nice little break from one-legged standing poses. Instead, it's one-legged on your back poses. Hey! Do 3 more of these. And then change sides. So bend your right knee, bring your foot to the ground. Pull your left knee in towards your face, straighten your left leg. So it doesn't have to be straight up, just like on the first side. Just get it as straight as you can. Push through your forearms, push through your elbows, push through up your shoulders, and lower your hips. Hover off the ground, lift your hips. Lower, and lift. It's not that complicated, so you can probably just do that now. And notice how your hip will move a little bit, how your knee will move a little bit, how your foot and your ankle will move a little bit on your right leg. All that movement is helping create engagement in the muscles, which is actually helping to build strength in those joints so that they can be stronger but also more mobile, which is really what we're hoping for. If we want to be able to stand up, we got to be able to, stand up tall even when it's windy out. even when the breeze is trying to knock us over. Breeze might be your enemy or frenemy. All right, do 2 more, because that's probably going to balance it out. And then bring your left foot down, bring your butt to the ground. Bring your knees into your chest, but just rock and roll backwards and forwards, and then see if you can stand up hands free. What a surprise. We're doing a bunch of hands free stuff. I had to get a little jump in there, tried to make it look like it was on purpose. How'd I do? All right, stand at the top of your mat, feet together, Tadasana. Now, steady your breath. You have a choice to make. If you have a block or something to replicate a block, you can choose to stand on it. For this series of poses that we just did on the first side, we're going to do it again. So, I'm going to do team solidarity, and I'm going to stand on the block. So if you're going to join me in this, please join me in this. Place the block so that you can stand on it with your left foot. And then stand up. Already needed the wall for support. You might want that as well. And then stretch your arms up overhead. Side bend to the left. In Dudalasana. One leg. Garudasana. Come back up. Lift your right knee. Wrap your right leg over your left. Wrap your right arm under your left. Eagle pose. And if you come off the block, no problem. Tree pose. See if you can come back to the block if you come off it. Tree pose, Vrikshasana. And then hands free, so hands to your hips. Step your right leg back. Lunge. Left foot is on a block or it's not. Stretch your arms up overhead. Warrior One variation. Lean forward and push with your right toes. Shift forward and lift up with your right leg. Shift forward with your torso. Warrior Three. Back to Warrior One variation. Right toes down, lift up. And now we've got to touch the ground for shoot the duck. We don't do that when hands free, so bring your hands down to the ground. And then pull your right knee forward. Now if you can get your hands to the ground while touching the block, you've got long arms. So that's cool. You might need fists or fingertips. Take your right leg out in front of you. Stretch it out in front of you. I had just enough space. Catch your right foot with your left hand. Maybe catch your right foot with both hands. I don't think I have enough space for that, so I'm not going to. And then standing splits. Take your right leg back. Touch your hands to the ground. Lift up with your right leg. Walk your hands forward. Standing splits. And then right leg out in front of you. Extended one leg pose. Lift your torso. Bend into your left knee. Pull your right knee up and lift it, and maybe stretch it out in front of you. Utthita Ekapadasana and Tadasana. Come off the block and stand in Tadasana on the ground. That feels nice. Amazingly, my body is still unstable even though both my feet have come to the ground. How are you feeling? Feeling like side 2? Good, because here it is. If you're using the block, just move it over a little so that you can place your right foot on the block and stand on the block. Whoa, just kick it away. Don't do that, stand on it. So either right foot on the block or right foot on the ground. And if you're doing right foot on the ground, everybody stretch your arms up overhead. Lift your left foot up off the ground if your left foot is on the ground. So if you're not on a block, you've got to make the one-legged Indudalasana happen. Side bend to the right, float your left leg out to the left a little. Garudasana, eagle. Come back up to center, lift your left knee and wrap your left leg over your right, wrap your left arm under your right. Garudasana, eagle pose. Oh, my eagle is trying to fly away. That's okay. Find some stability in it and come back to it. Vrikshasana, tree pose, left leg up into your inside of your right leg, hands to your heart, tree pose. Vrikshasana. Embrace the wobbles. Enjoy them, feel them, know that they're helping you find your stability, find your ability to stand up. High lunge, hands to hips, step your left leg back. Warrior One variation, stretch your arms up. Warrior Three, ready? Lean forward. Shift with your left foot and shift. Lift your left leg, stretch forward. Back to Warrior One variation. Left toes down, lift your torso. It doesn't have to be pretty, it's just yoga. Bring your hands down to the ground. Pull your left knee forward, ready? Shoot the duck, except don't shoot the duck, because what'd the duck ever do? Hold your left foot with your right hand, or hold it with both hands, or just keep touching the ground, that's awesome too. Standing splits, lift your hips, take your left leg back, walk your hands forward, lift your left leg, standing splits. Utthita Eka Padasana, lift your chest, bend your right knee, shift it forward, lift your left knee. Maybe straighten your left leg. And Tadasana, step off the block, stand on the ground. How does that feel? Notice how that feels. Notice how you feel. My heart is racing, it's great. It feels like I've been working. If you're using the block, move it out of the way. And sit down. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Pull your hips back a little bit. Paschimottanasana. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Stretch them straight. And then stretch your arms up straight. If your lower back is rounding here, separate your feet a little and bend your knees until you can tip your pelvis and find a slight little arch in your lower back. Stretch up. And if you have your knees bent, keep them bent as you fold forward. I'll do that variation just so you can see it. Pull on your feet, stretch your head towards your feet. And then lower your torso more. So your upper body will round here, your spine, it will round. That's fine. If you can do this with a straight spine, by all means, but realistically, we'll all find a little bit of rounding in our back, or a lot. Relax your head a little. Just let it hang for a moment here. Push out through your feet, pull with your arms, and even though your spine rounds here, you can find more length. So stretch through your spine as you pull on your feet. Move your chest forward and down. Paschimottanasana. Slow your breath down, because we are slowing it down. If your knees are bent, see if you can straighten them a little bit here without your back overly rounding more or hurting at all. Once we've already rounded our back, you might find that you can straighten your legs a little bit more than you had when you were sitting up. It's important that we keep noticing how we adjust and how we change while we're in a pose or over time as we practice poses. Pull on your legs, stretch your spine long, lift your head and chest, and sit up. Bend your knees, everybody. Take your left leg underneath your right. Just your left foot underneath your right leg. Take your right leg over top of your left for Ardha Matsyendrasana. Take your right fingertips back behind you. Stretch your left arm up. Hug your right knee in and twist to the right. Touch your left arm onto your right leg, and then roll your right shoulder back and twist. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Open up your right side. Hug your right leg in and twist. Untwist and come back to center. Bring your hands down onto the ground behind you. Lean back and change legs. I like to kick them out. I call it Tina Turner your legs. Kick them out. Change them in the air. You might call it Rockettes legs as well. Rockettes. That got really loud. All right. Hug your left knee in. Stretch your right arm up. Touch your left hand to the ground behind you. Stretch up. Twist to the left. Touch your right arm onto your left leg. Roll your left shoulder back and twist. There goes my back. That felt all right, though. Stretch up through your spine. And just notice how your body feels. Notice the energy moving through it after that challenging work. If you, like me, are sweaty, notice that. Untwist and come back to center. Because it means that you worked hard, all that feeling going on inside you, all that sweat pouring down your face. Lean back and uncross your legs. Bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Walk your hands back behind your hips and turn your fingers forward. Push your feet down, push your hands down, lift your hips up. Reverse table, look up. Move your shoulders down, lift your chest up. Don't drop your head back, but hold your head up. Use your neck to support you and stretch out through your spine. Lift your butt. Push down through both feet. Isn't it nice to have them on the ground? Both of them, same time. Lower your hips down. Come onto your back. And come into happy baby. Grab the soles of your feet. And you can rock around a little if you like. You can be stationary if you like. If you'd like to do something slightly different than happy baby, be my guest. Start to slow down any movements that you've got happening. Slow down your breath. Bring your feet down to the ground. And stretch your legs out. Setting up for Shavasana. Bring your feet about as wide as your mat. And then turn your legs out. Turn your arms up towards the ceiling. So turn your arms out a little so your palms turn up. Rest the back of your hands on the ground. Close your eyes, that will help you relax. Shavasana. Just rest here in that feeling of having just practiced. Feel how good it feels to have pushed yourself, challenged yourself, given yourself the ability to stand up for yourself. So valuable. Nice work. Start to deepen your breath. And start to do some small movements in your feet, your toes, your hands, and your fingers. Moving your shoulders and your hips a little. Breathe this movement into you. And then bend your knees. Turn onto your side. And if you can keep your eyes shut as you come up to seated, it'll just help you stay inside a little as you transition. Come up to seated. Bring your hands in front of your heart in the prayer position, Anjali Mudra, and sit up tall. Have your eyes closed or look down past the tip of your nose, down towards the ground with soft eyes. Yoga helps us remember that what we stand for is important. Who we are is important. And it helps us learn how to stand for something, how to hold ourselves up in the face of challenge, in the face of adversity. I hope this has helped you feel your outer hips a little more and build more strength in your legs so that you can hold yourself up. Thank you for practicing. Namaste. I feel like it should probably be quite obvious that the way you get better at one-legged standing poses is by practicing one-legged standing poses. But my excuse that I give myself is always like, well, I have my leg wobbles and this week and I need to get stronger, so I will skip that and I won't do it. But of course, this is exactly what we need to do. So well done for joining me today, for doing a bunch of one-legged standing poses and just being able to feel a little more confident today when you go out and have to walk around. Something as simple as that will be easier and you'll be able to hold yourself up. Thanks for practicing. If you'd like to do another class with me in the future, there's a class of mine you can click on and add it to your watch later list. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please just take a second, click my picture up over there, and then click the little bell icon and you'll be subscribed. No problem. If you've got questions, put it in the comments below. Thanks. See you soon.